Are we live? Hey everyone, and thanks for coming back into the cryptoverse. Today we are going to be talking about alt season. So, let me fix a couple things though, because I think maybe I forgot to. Okay, I think I fixed the thumbnail. All right, I'm just gonna post this in a few different chats, and then we will dive in. How's everyone doing tonight? It looks like we have in fact have ourselves on hand a $1,000 ether. So we have in fact made the journey from the depths down here, and now what I would like to see, I'd like to see us come back up here. Okay, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see any of the nonsense of it coming back down and we kick the can down the road. If that happens, so be it. If that happens, then it probably means Bitcoin volatility went through the roof. But hopefully we're getting back on track here. This is ultimately what we would like to see. So just something to keep in mind. And we will primarily be watching Ethereum. We will also touch base on DOT, ADA, VeChain, Bitcoin, and Chainlink. So we're going to go through a few different coins, see what's going on with all of them. I guess I need to post this in a few. I still haven't posted this yet. Yeah, it hasn't updated the thumbnail. All right, let's jump in. So, hold on one more second. All right, whatever. Let's just go ahead and jump in. So here we are. Ethereum is at $1,004. Obviously, this is pretty nice. We've been following this move for quite a while. This is the 1 hour time frame that you see here. And now the question that is on everyone's mind is how high can it go, right? How high can we realistically expect to go? And as we know, this fully depends on Bitcoin. So hold on a second, my son just got up. So it fully depends on Bitcoin, as we know. And as long as Bitcoin is doing this, right? This is what we want to see. This is, prime territory for coins like Ethereum. Now, ordinarily, I would say we would want to see weekly candles, right? I would want us to see weekly candles of Bitcoin going sideways. But when you get manic bubbles like we're seeing with Bitcoin, they can come along a lot quicker. So still, with that said, be that as it may, with that said, any time this trend ends, right? If this ends, look for Ethereum to react to that. Okay, probably not in a good way. if there's a lot of volatility of Bitcoin to the upside or the downside. So as we've said all along, we would like it to just do this. That's what we want it to do, and hopefully, hopefully it does something like that, right? I mean, maybe Bitcoin is going to have a slow bleed for a little while. Maybe it's going to consolidate for a little while. I don't know, but this is exactly what we would want to see. So we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin, but the real party is on Ethereum, right? This is the one to watch. And as we've said, one of the things you might consider is, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that are not doing a whole lot, and they haven't done a whole lot in years. And at some point, if they're still not moving up throughout an entire year of bullishness from Bitcoin and from Ethereum, where literally both Bitcoin and Ethereum have more or less gone up, 10x or so. If those coins are still not moving, then take a cold hard look at why you hold those coins. So that's generally where we are right now. Now, one thing that could be good for altcoins, if you guys remember from 2017 and 2018, sorry, let me just check the chat. Someone says they were on the phone with Forbes when I got the notification. As I said, don't schedule those Forbes interviews just yet. Let's see how far this can take us. Leave Forbes for later. So one of the things we've noted before is, a lot of these coins will not make major moves until Bitcoin gets to the prior all-time high. Now, I do think that one of the things the world will be watching is Ethereum. Will Ethereum make it to its prior all-time high? And its prior all-time high is around $1,400 or so, just north of $1,400. So with an Ethereum valuation just north of $1,400, one of the things that we might see in that scenario could just be chaos, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many people have experienced a manic bubble in crypto, but things can get pretty insane pretty quickly. So we want to temper our expectations, manage our expectations, but at the same time, if it does happen, right? If something like that does happen, we want to be ready for it. Again, as I've said all along, you don't chase the bubble. You wait for the bubble to come to you, and then you capitalize on it, right? You don't go chasing them. You wait for them to come to you. You capitalize, and you don't look back, right? And one of the things that I've seen happen throughout, crypto YouTube, crypto Twitter, crypto Reddit, is that people might shame you for taking profits, right? And you'll see the hodl memes or hodl memes, however you want to say it, but you'll see those memes pop up, and that's just something that you have to overlook, right? It's something you have to overlook. It doesn't mean you have to market sell or anything like that, but having stop losses or stop limits, stuff like that in place for various coins that you're up significantly on tends to be a good idea. Yeah, I gotta go check on my kid. I'll be right back. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, there's a monster under his bed. So I don't know how I try. If you guys have any tips, let me know. But the last few days, he claims there's a monster under his bed, and when I look under the bed, he'll say it dug underground and I can't see it. So I'm just trying to figure out how to deal with the monster under my kid's bed. Anyways, let's get back to business. So the prior all-time high is up here, okay? So ideally that would be where we're headed, ideally speaking. If we look at weekly time frames, the top on the weekly was up here at around 1380 or so. But you guys know me, the monthly time frame I think paints a more conservative picture. Okay, so these are the monthly tops. This is the January and February monthly top for Ethereum, and not including the wick. So we're almost there. Okay, we've been covering this for weeks, talking about this general move, right? The general structure of this. Not that it necessarily has to play out, right? But we wanna be there in case it does, right? So now that we're here, the final push to complete this pattern that we've been talking about for a while would be to go up to 1111. Make a wish, right? So 1111, $90 from here. A cool $90 from here. Seems doable. We'll see if we make it. From there, the wick on the monthly chart took us to 1400. So this is certainly something we want to keep an eye on, because as I've said before, let me pull it up. This chart, as I've shown before, let me back through this. This is the Ethereum Bitcoin RLI, okay? And it's measured starting December of every year. The green line is the current year, okay? This, however, is about 3 days old, maybe a little bit older. So we were heading down, and we made a video where we said, you know what, we're heading down, but so we did that in the past, right? And if you follow this green line, despite the fact that it initially bled in December, once we got into January, things started to pick up for Ethereum. And you might wonder, Ben, why do you color these different colors? So again, if it's color green, it means Bitcoin was above its 20-week moving average from December, at least from December until March, the end of March. If it's red, it means that Bitcoin was below its 20-week moving average all 4 of those months. If it's yellow, it means it was above and below it. So as long as Bitcoin can stay above its 20-week moving average, which right now is around 16,800, then I think there's a good chance Ethereum is back in business, right? And we might have a fairly spectacular move here. Now, we need to temper our expectations, of course. We're not going to say it has to do anything, right? It all depends on what Bitcoin does. But when you look at the 90-day ROI of Ethereum, generally, December is better than November, and November is better than October. It doesn't always play out like that, but essentially what it means is, as you're buying going into the fourth quarter, the later and later you do it, typically your 90-day ROI is better. Same thing in 2016, right? October was worse than November, which was worse than December. In 2017, it was reversed. Well, why was it reversed? Well, it was because Bitcoin peaked in January, and it was the bad news bears from there. 2018, same thing, yellow. October was worse than November, which was worse than December. The main, 2019 was slightly off because October was the worst, but December was actually slightly worse than November. Now, this is the 1-year ROI of Ethereum. So we are trending up, and I think we're going to continue trending up considering our March capitulation. Now, this is the most interesting chart to me right now. Okay, this is one of the most interesting charts. So, let's just think about this chart for a minute and what the implications of the chart could be. Now, before we get into this, make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Let's get to 1,100 likes. There's a rumor going around that 1,100 likes will get us to an $1,100 Ethereum. So if we don't get to 1,100, maybe it's because we don't have 1,100 likes. Anyways, this is the 1-year running ROI of Ethereum USD. Okay, the 1-year running ROI. Why is this important? Who cares about a running window? Well, it can give you insights into these macro level moves. Let me show you what I mean. This is the Bitcoin 1-year running ROI. Okay, this is the 1-year ROI for Bitcoin, and despite the fact that it's a running 1-year ROI, we have seen a pretty nice trend. Now, one thing that we do know, like a lot of trends, eventually they will be broken, right? Eventually they will be broken because we can see that eventually by the end of the decade, the 1-year ROI will trend to 1, which means that you're not ever seeing a return, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. However, if our thesis is correct that Ethereum, in terms of volatility to the upside and the downside, is one market cycle behind Bitcoin, let's take a look at where Bitcoin was. In 2013, at the peak, Bitcoin had a 100x ROI. Why is that important? Well, Ethereum, at the peak in 2017, had approximately a 100x ROI. Okay, now, since Bitcoin had a 100x ROI in 2013, Ethereum had a 100x ROI, and this is the 1-year ROI in 2018, early 2018. Why is that important? Well, what happened the following market cycle for the 1-year running Ethereum ROI? For Bitcoin, I mean. It went to 25x. So could we suppose that Ethereum will go to 25x? It's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. It could go higher than 25x because, this one was more than 100. Bitcoin was less than 100. Could go more. What are the implications of that, though, right? What are the implications of it theoretically going to 25x Ethereum, a 1-year ROI of 25x? Well, remember, in March, Ethereum was $100, right? So a 25x ROI from there, this March, would be a $2,500 Ether. I know it sounds absurd. We are certainly not making any claims that will happen. It's possible that it goes up a lot slower and it takes, another year or two for it to continue trending up. And it could be even more spectacular, maybe a 25x from even a higher price. We're just speculating on what ifs, right? None of this should be taken to the bank. It's not financial advice. I easily contend the probability of Ethereum going to $2,500 by March is lower than the probability of it going to $2,500. So keep that in mind. There's definitely some barriers that Ethereum will need to get to. But the interesting thing, right, is if you take this is the Ethereum 1-year ROI, this is Bitcoin. If we overlay them and compress it, you can see how well they match up, which is why our thesis is that Ethereum volatility is 1 year or one market cycle behind Bitcoin's, right? You can see first peak, second peak. all the way down into the bear market. Bitcoin went up and then sideways, and then that 1 year ROI peaked at 25x. Ethereum up, sideways, back up. If it peaks at 25x, if it does it by March, it would imply a $2,500 Ethereum. Will it happen? Probably not going to happen exactly like that, right? Let's just be real. Probably not exactly, probably not going to happen exactly like that, but we're here for speculation. So maybe it'll look something like that, okay? Now, let's go take a look at the price. So let's see where we are. So we're currently at 1,027. And another thing we want to do is, as we've said before, is look at this, right? We're going to break back into this channel. Let's get back up. We welcome you back home, Ethereum. Don't ever wander off like that again, except maybe for next December when we're prepared. Let's get back on track. Now, if we do get back on track, right? This is the trend line we used for essentially all of 2020. For the most part, we did tweak it. I used it for 10 months. I very slightly tweaked it about 2 months ago, but I don't like to redraw them. Right? Let's see if they stand the test of time. If they don't, so be it. Right? I'm not going to redraw them. We had a peak here. We had another peak here. We had another peak here. This is our bottom. This is our bottom. We had another bottom here. Here we had another bottom. And then this was our December capitulation. We know that Ethereum capitulates historically against Bitcoin in December, right? Remember the end of December. From here, are we getting back on track, right? If we do, and we come up to the top of this channel, let's suppose that we come to the top of it by March 13th. Okay, let's say by March 13th, right here. If that is the track we're on, which we don't know yet if it is, but if it is, then, and honestly, there's definitely a good chance this does not extend that long, right? There's a good chance, given this Bitcoin move, we don't know how long it will last. And if the Bitcoin move stops, right? If we go out, look at say like a daily time frame. So this is the bubble. This is what I would consider a bubble. I'll respect your opinion if you don't think it's a bubble. This is what I would call a bubble. I don't think it's the macro bubble that's going to take us to like 140K for the cycle, but in my opinion, this is at least some remnant of a bubble. The problem is we simply don't know how high it will go, and it's really hard to predict when bubbles will form. If this stops well before, if it stops next week, then it's not like, there's a good chance Ethereum's not going to rally until March, right? There's just simply a good chance Ethereum is not going to rally until March if this stops in a week, okay? If you remember, back in 2018, 2017, Bitcoin peaked on December 17th, okay? But the crypto market did not capitulate until mid-December. So there was about a month window between when Bitcoin peaked and then when the rest of the market capitulated. And so there was about 4 weeks or so where altcoins were booming, and Ethereum. I don't consider Ethereum an altcoin, but I'm just using it in generalization terms. This is when altcoins boomed. And if you distinctly remember, there was about a week or so where they took a break between these major moves. So what we're looking for now is all eyes on Bitcoin. It's so important that you watch what Bitcoin does because it will dictate if Ethereum's move can be sustained. Now, one thing to consider is that if Bitcoin continues this move, okay, let's say it continues it, let's say we're on pause here for a couple days and it continues even higher, then Ethereum will likely pause in terms of its valuation increase against Bitcoin. So it'll likely pause if that happens. Okay? Is that a problem? Probably not. Because if the Bitcoin rally continues, while Ethereum will likely not keep pace with Bitcoin, is my guess, Ethereum USD will likely get dragged up. It'll likely come up regardless. It will lag behind Bitcoin if that happens. Okay, and it's a good and it's to some degree that'd be a good thing that it happens because okay, Ethereum it gets it's dragged up by Bitcoin a little bit longer, and then maybe we have another scenario where Bitcoin pauses for a few days and then Ethereum can continue going up. So one thing I've learned in crypto is never underestimate how high a bubble can go. It's the biggest mistake a lot of people make, and I will be the first to tell you I do not know how high that will go. I don't know. It could be peaking. Maybe the peak is at 34K, maybe it's at 35, maybe 36, maybe 40K, maybe 50K. I simply do not know where the peak is. The thing though is as long as Bitcoin is not capitulating, right? As long as it's not doing something like that, then Ethereum should stay in business. Okay, Ethereum should stay in business as long as Bitcoin is not turning around. This is a very important time, right? I know the general market sentiment is a lot of people think 300K in 11 months. Even if that is true, I don't think this move is sustainable for 12 months, right? And I think a lot of people would agree with that, even if they differ on exactly the route to get to these insane Bitcoin valuations. I don't think we'll make it anywhere close to 300K this cycle. But even if you do, there's a lot of people that follow this that are putting out warnings saying, this type of a move will likely not be sustainable for an entire year. It's not going to go up like this for an entire year. And so there probably will be nasty shakeouts along the way. That's just a fact. Did I think it was going to go to 33K by January 1st of 2021? No, I didn't. And I'll be the first to admit it, right? I did not know. But it doesn't change the fact that I had a significant Bitcoin position and was ready for it to take advantage of this move, okay? And I still do hold the majority of my Bitcoin. I have been taking profits, as many of you know, but I still hold the majority of my Bitcoin. If this continues higher, then I'll continue taking profits. The worst thing, in my opinion, right, and I know not everyone will agree with this, I don't like looking back at bubbles and not having sold, right? I simply do not like looking back and not having sold anything. That's ultimately what scares me, right? Is I don't want to look back and not having sold anything. And you could argue that you have a lot of these little micro bubbles in here, right? And that we are always potentially within a much larger bubble, right? And we just simply don't know yet, right? Maybe this is the very beginning of a much longer run, right? Let's switch over to like a weekly time frame. So, maybe it looks something like this, where it comes up, it comes back down for a while, and then it continues. It's possible that it looks something like that. My thinking is I just want to take advantage of any time something like that happens. When Bitcoin goes up 10x, I want to take advantage of it. So, with that said, you don't have to. Okay, and I'll say that again. You do not have to. You are free to hold. So far holding has worked out pretty well, and it could still work out. It's just that my strategy involves always taking profits because I always want to make sure that I live to fight another day. There's a lot of people, a lot of warriors that watch their portfolio skyrocket and they did not live to fight another day in the crypto market. So just something to consider. Again, something to consider. Doesn't mean you have to take profits. Doesn't mean Bitcoin can't continue to go up. There's always a good chance that the rally will continue. But my goals are not to time the top or time the bottom because I simply know I can't do it. as many of you guys would agree. I can't do it. So regardless, this is what's important, right? This is the thing to keep an eye on for Bitcoin. And as long as it doesn't break, as long as we don't see a capitulation, as long as Bitcoin volatility stays relatively normal, then I think Ethereum's still in business. So, currently we're at 1,030. Let's switch over to a daily time frame again. And now it sounds like one of my other kids is screaming. But it is what it is. We work with what we got. So we're at 1,034. And we can see the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation is in fact moving back up. Okay? Now, let's suppose that this lasts for another month. Let's suppose it lasts for another month. So what we want to do is we want to put on that moving average. And I guess we need to switch it back to the monthly time frame. This is our 20-month moving average, right? Which is what we said we need to hold for Ethereum to maintain some level of bullishness in the short term. And it looks like we're holding it, right? It looks like we're holding it so far. We had that capitulation down. Whoops, I don't want to change that. And we've seen that exact same capitulation many times, right? You saw it here and here. So, whoops. So same thing, right? Capitulation and then back up. And then here again, capitulation down to the 20-month and then back up. Okay? So that is something we've seen many times. And one thing we've said is that volatility will likely go down. So if volatility is going down, you can see that these moves are much more impressive than this one. It doesn't change the fact that you can make a lot of money in the market, right? So let's suppose that we have the same thing, right? Down and then back up. And one thing to consider is the other moving average. Now, I think there is a decent chance that if things get rolling quickly, we could break this moving average. But the reason why I'm saying this is because, as we showed before, this was the moving average that we held identically as resistance back in the summer, okay? And it was the 50-month moving average. And we'll change this to something that shows up relatively well, maybe pink. So that's the moving average. When we had our wick, when Ethereum had its wick against Bitcoin, we came straight up to it, right there, okay? And the reason why that's important is because, again, we always want to keep an eye on where it is today. Currently, it's at 0.0416, 5953. So let's say it's at 0.0417. If we were to go to a Bitcoin valuation of 0.0417, okay, so 0.0417 times the current price of Bitcoin, which we know will change, but let's just take the current price of 33.5. That puts us at around a $1,400 Bitcoin, or a $1,400 Ethereum. So if Ethereum can rally back up to the top it had in the summer, it implies a $1,400 Ethereum, okay? This moving average would not necessarily preclude Ethereum from simply going higher, okay? It could easily go higher if Ethereum goes into full-out manic bubble mode, okay? And that's what I want to stress, is that, a lot of times being super bullish and being what they call a moon boy does not pay off, does not pan out. But I still think there are key times during the market cycle where everything lines up perfectly. And it's those few times that make everyone else think that it's going to happen every month, right? And it's what causes people to buy the dip. Because in a bull market, when you buy the dip, it keeps working out. So if we rally, maybe we rally much higher, right? Maybe this is going to be but a short-term, roadblock but ultimately will trend higher. So this is a very bullish scenario. Again, this is a very bullish scenario, and what I'm doing, what I would say, is that setting stop losses is generally a good idea. Now, the downside is during a short-term shakeout, you might get liquidated, but that's why you can always save the larger sells until the end. If you prefer to just hold for a few years, nothing wrong with that, right? More power to you. Hold through if you want and wait, and then we'll see where things take us. But if you everyone has different scenarios or circumstances. If you're looking to buy a house, if you're coming into wealth that you can pay your mortgage off with, if you have some type of thing that if you have this life-changing wealth, I just don't want you to squander it, right? I don't want that to be squandered because I saw so many people do it back in 2018. So don't squander something like that. Another thing, if you took profits on Bitcoin in December, make sure you can pay your taxes before you go gamble all the profits on altcoins, because there's a lot of people that took profits on Bitcoin in 2017, gambled it on altcoins in 2018, and then couldn't really pay their taxes because the losses of 2018 were not retroactive to 2017. So just something to consider. So let's switch back to the weekly. So if Ethereum can continue this rally, then we could be looking at a pretty substantial price appreciation of Ethereum. Remember, the reason to hold Ethereum is because it outperforms Bitcoin, right? Historically, it does. Now, it's not exactly a fair comparison because Bitcoin is a couple market cycles ahead of Ethereum, so it's not really a fair comparison. With all due respect to Bitcoin, Ethereum can't really replicate what Bitcoin did during its first market cycle, and no coin really can. So let's pay Bitcoin its respect and realize that when it launched, its first cycle was astronomical, and that most coins aren't going to come anywhere close to that. But it's not 2010 anymore. It's not 2011. No one cares about theoretical past returns because we want to know what can we get today, right? And because of that mentality, like what can we get today, we recognize that, okay, well, Ethereum is one market cycle behind Bitcoin in terms of volatility based on this historical data. So it generally leaves more upside. Now, again, my majority position is Bitcoin. It has, it always will be. That will not change, right? It just simply will not change. But hopefully the extra risk that we take with Ethereum will pay off. And again, if your friends say you were lucky, you say it wasn't luck, it was a calculated investment, because you sure as hell weren't saying it was lucky down here. You were probably saying something like altcoins are dead or Ethereum's dead. The same thing every time. Every time Bitcoin goes through something like this, altcoins are dead until they're not, and then everyone talks about altcoins or and Ethereum, and they see greater returns than Bitcoin typically. Then new people come into the space, realize they buy Bitcoin because that's what they know, and then they see all these other coins taking off, so then they FOMO into the other coins, and then they say, why buy Bitcoin, right? Why buy Bitcoin when Ethereum is the one that's going parabolic? Because it takes this parabolic move by Bitcoin to pique their interest in the first place. Sorry, let me check the chat to make sure everyone's doing okay. Looks like it's fine. So then new people get their interest is piqued by Bitcoin going parabolic, so they come in, they buy Bitcoin, but by that point Bitcoin typically slows down a bit because the people that were in 10x at 1/10 the valuation are now a lot of times selling for profit. They see altcoins going up, they chase the altcoins, they get a taste of amazing returns in the short term, they put more money in, and then it crashes, and then they put more money in because why not buy the dip? And then it keeps crashing, and it keeps crashing, and it keeps crashing. And eventually they capitulate back to Bitcoin once they're tired of watching their altcoins go down 95% against Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin goes on another run. That's what I call, the general cycle of crypto. Bitcoin goes on a run, it goes up parabolic, new people come in, they FOMO on Bitcoin, then they see altcoins going up more, they just switch to altcoins go up, they put more money in, exacerbating the problem, those altcoins skyrocket, and then it gets to a point where it's like, who else is left to buy because these altcoin valuations are so high and so many people are up, are like 50x, 100x, it's insane. The market can no longer bear it, everyone capitulates, eventually money rolls back into Bitcoin, and the cycle continues. So we just try to we want to take advantage of this cycle. So here we are, we're at $1,031 Ether. You know, yesterday the price was in the 700s. Now we're over 1,000. So it's a pretty substantial move. DOT. Who owns DOT, right? Who owns Polkadot in the chat? Because this is one of my top 5. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. Who owns DOT in the chat? This is one we've been talking about, you know, and we said this is the accumulation, right? And I said this many times. We have videos on this. This is the accumulation phase for DOT. That was the time, right? This was the time. This was the accumulation phase between, you know, approximately all the way down here at $3 up to $6. Accumulation, right? Pure accumulation. Get in before, the goal, right, was to get in before this happened. We didn't know when it was going to happen, but we speculated that it would happen. So I have not sold any DOT. Okay, for full disclosure, if it crashes tomorrow, you guys can make fun of me. I have not sold any of this coin, and I don't really plan on selling any of it anytime soon. But there would be scenarios where I might. Okay. By the way, remember to subscribe to the channel if you want to be here every step of the way during the market cycle, and give the video a thumbs up. We have almost 3,000 people watching the stream and 600 likes. So let's get to 1,000 likes, and then we'll go from there. So with DOT, this is one of those ones that we said before. The reason why accumulation of this coin over here made sense was because, well, we think DOT will play a role in this market cycle. It's not marketing itself as an Ethereum killer or anything like that, which is a good thing. I do think it has a role to play this market cycle, and it has no theoretical emotional barriers, right? Emotional walls, right? It never has gone through a bull market, right? I mean, it launched onto the market back over here in August, and it's, you know, it's in the top 10. And we said before it launched, it'll be a top 10 coin. So now I think it's just time to let it ride, right? And we said it's good to have at least one coin that has very little history and has a role to play during the cycle, accumulate, right? And we'll see where it takes us. It's basically the same type of thing as maybe accumulating Ethereum when it first launched, right? You know, if you look at one of the things that people were always really skeptical on with Ethereum was, you know, it launched and it first capitulated. You know, I mean, it went all the way down to around $7 or so. And what's worse, if you look at the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation when it launched, it bled significantly against Bitcoin, right? From the top of this candle to the bottom of the wick, it bled 90%, 86% to the say from candle to candle. Let's not take it from the air, you know, from the drop candle on the exchange. Let's take it from here. A 67% bleed of Ethereum against Bitcoin when it first launched. Do you care to know what DOT did? It did the same exact thing, basically. Look at DOT. DOT Bitcoin. Same thing, right? Same exact thing. From here to the bottom of the wick, 65%, to the bottom of the candle, 61%. Ethereum, if we say go from, you know, these candles right here to the bottom, let's go to the exact bottom over here. I guess the bottom was here, a 68% drop. just because it drops against Bitcoin in the short term does not prohibit it from further taking off later. Okay, it's just something to consider. So, with that said, I'm not buying DOT anymore, right? If you guys want to buy it, go for it. There's a decent chance it goes up. There's also a decent chance it doesn't. My cost basis is somewhere between $3 to $6. I'm happy with that. I can stomach short-term moves to the downside. If it goes to $7, if it goes to $8, I don't care. If it goes even lower, maybe I'll buy some more. You have to figure out, if you were not accumulating it in this region, obviously the risk on accumulating up here is higher. You have to figure out if it's worth the risk to you, and I can't tell you that, right? I'm happy with my position, and I'm just here to let it ride. Let's DOT. So Cardano. Boy, Cardano. We have been talking about this one since it was 2 cents. So, it's officially up less than 2 cents, really. It's up more than 10x now. And this is one that it stands to gain a lot, right? I can't believe we have 3,000 viewers. Thank you, everyone, for viewing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys like the content. Give the video a thumbs up. You guys know the drill. So ADA is doing phenomenal. And one of the things that people forget about ADA is they'll always say, well, what has it done for me recently? Don't forget that from the bottom of the wick, it moved up 10x earlier this year and then capitulated down to here. And from that point, it's up another 200%. From the bottom, it's up almost 1,300%, which is a 14x, okay? The prior all-time high of ADA was like $1.38 or something. It's something ridiculous, right? Something absolutely ridiculous. For the time, $1.30 ADA was absurd. This market cycle, I don't think it will be quite as absurd. Are we saying that ADA will go to $1 tomorrow? No, we're not. It could take another year or two to get to $1, right? That's not the point. The point is that it's been an accumulation for a long time. It was an accumulation up until 10 cents, according to the risk metrics that I use over here. And then it was an accumulation up to around 17 cents over here. Okay, so ADA is one I will hold for a while, and I'm excited to see where it will go. Because I still think, a 23 cent ADA is great, but I think the market cycle, in terms of the grand scheme of the market cycle, we're still fairly early on. Now, I will say that despite the fact that I think we're fairly early on in the market cycle, with Bitcoin doing something like this, if this happens, there will be a nasty there would be a nasty altcoin shakeout, right? There's no way around it. So if you're one of those people that's new to the space and you're attracted to the space because Bitcoin was in the news recently, you got to be careful. You really have to be careful on altcoins because there's a time to accumulate them and there's a time not to. And generally, the time to accumulate them is before the media attention phase. Now it's more like gambling, right? If you want to gamble, you can gamble, and it might work out, but coming in after it's up 10x is a lot riskier than accumulating it before then. So if you find yourself new to the scene and you just want to chase these things once they've already started, I would say, stick around for whenever this ends. You'll see the altcoins capitulate at some point after they've gone up a lot. Some of them maybe have gone up a ton. And then when you buy them after they've capitulated, you have a lot higher risk-adjusted returns than buying them once they're already at 10x. So that covers ADA. Next, let's go to Link. Okay, so we're not going to hide here. We're gonna look exactly, and I should probably look at a different exchange so it has more history. Let's see what the hell's going on with Link. Okay, here we are. 3 major bubbles. Okay, 3 major bubbles. From here to here, a 216 move from top to top, 216% move over 532 days. From here to here, a 314% move over 427 days. So far, we have dropped from the peak 30% over 147 days. Okay? Now, if you follow the channel, you know we were taking profits up here. I did not time the peak perfectly. I sold at $18.50. It went to 20 bucks. Who cares, right? It's come back down significantly, and we even had this fairly impressive capitulation wick. Okay? It's possible that there's a lot of external factors causing Link to stagnate. The SEC stuff, even though it's not against Link, people want to speculate. The fact that it's already off a 10x run earlier this year, right? This is still one I think will do well. It's still one I think will do well. And I'm going to put out a video later showing a few charts, but I'm going to show them to you now as well. So we're going to pull it up, and we're going to see what's going on. If I can find it, of course. Okay, here we are. So this is the Link ROI as measured from inception. Okay, this is the Link ROI. It's the blue line, the light blue line. The white line is Bitcoin. The red line is Ethereum. Okay? Link, despite the fact, this little squiggle you see over here where everyone's up in arms, right, and complaining about Link, it's this little squiggle. Okay, this little squiggle that you can barely see. Look at the main picture here. Look at this. It's doing great. It's doing great. It's doing fairly well, and in fact, there's a good chance it will outperform Ethereum. There's at least a decent chance. You might wonder how. Well, it's already up 100x from the bottom, right? I mean, from January of 2018, it's already up like 100x. So this is one chart. Another chart is this one. This is the Link price when Bitcoin is above its 20-week moving average or below its 20-week moving average. When it's above, Link does well. This is the first time that Link had a bubble, and it came back down, and Bitcoin did not go below the 20-week, right? Bubble, Bitcoin went below the 20-week. Link capitulated. Bubble, Bitcoin went below the 20-week. Link didn't really do anything for a while. Bubble, it came down, but it is starting to trend back up because Bitcoin has still held the 20-week significantly higher. The 20-week is at 16.8K. Bitcoin's like twice that at this point. This is the Link Bitcoin risk. Okay, this is the Link Bitcoin risk. You look back, a key buying opportunity here when it was in the blue. Here, again, a key buying opportunity. This is where we are, right? This is exactly where we are. Now, does it mean that Link will go up in the short term? No, it does not. If Bitcoin capitulates, Link will likely have a knee-jerk reaction. If you remember, the reason why we hold Link is because negative volatility of Link is typically offset by positive volatility of Bitcoin at the same time. In the same manner, negative volatility of Bitcoin is typically offset by the same time frame positive volatility of Link. So if Bitcoin's doing really well, Link tends to not do so well. But the reverse is also true. A lot of times when Bitcoin's not doing really well, Link is doing very well, and during those times, people love Link, right? Because they'll say, Bitcoin's doing nothing, Link's going through the roof. Just something to consider. You know, we've gotten into the blue region, we've done it two other times. We could go lower, right? Namely, if Bitcoin volatility increases a lot in the following week or two, we'll probably go lower on the Link Bitcoin risk. But if Link volatility or if Bitcoin volatility calms down, then maybe we will finally turn around. It's just something to consider. Again, I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I just try to make investments based on historical volatility, historical prices, try to make them as risk-free as possible, but everything does carry a level of risk to it. We could wake up tomorrow and Link could be down 50%. We could also wake up tomorrow and Link could be up 50%. So it's the risks you take, and you have to figure out if the risk is worth it for you and I simply cannot tell you if it's worth it for you. You have to figure that out on your own. Right now, it's at 1465. Sorry, let me just check out the chat here. Yeah, so the thing is the one thing I want to say to everyone again. I'm not saying that alts can't go up. In fact, there's probably a higher probability that they go up in the short term than they go down. Right? I mean, it depends on Bitcoin, of course. If you wake up tomorrow on Bitcoin 16K, rest assured most alts have probably kicked the bucket. I mean, that's just a fact. But if you want to speculate on alts in the short term, you can. Altcoin season has, it could last for several weeks, right? We could just be getting started. We literally could just be getting started, or the end could be tomorrow. So, speculating on altcoins is risky business, especially when they're up 10x this year. It doesn't mean they can't go up another 10x. That's the thing. So, I would say don't bet the family farm. If you want to invest in them, just recognize the risk you're taking on, and be prepared for whatever happens, right? And be able to live with whatever happens. So hopefully these things continue to go up. I would love it. I would love to see DOT go to $20. I would love to see ADA go to 50 cents. I would love to see Link go to 30 or 40 bucks, right? We all want to see that. We all want to see it. We don't always get what we want, but when we do, we look back and say, well, we took the risk and it paid off, or it didn't. And there's been plenty of times where it doesn't pay off in the short term, but you just keep on chugging along, keep on DCAing, and eventually it tends to pay off, right? As long as you're not picking garbage coins, it tends to pay off. Let's take a look back at Ethereum. We are now at $1,000.21, over 1K. It does look like we are definitely picking up steam here. I mean, you could argue this is going parabolic, right, as well. I'll remind you to subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. Let's go for 81,000 subscribers, right? We reached 80,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing. Also give the video a thumbs up if you guys like the content. So again, my main coins, my top 5, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. Those are my main 5. That's where the majority of my portfolio is. I do have small positions in a few other coins, okay? But mostly it's in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. I actually do own Uni, the Uniswap governance token. I do own it. A small position, right? But if it goes up, then I'll be looking. I'll certainly be watching that one. You look at the Bitcoin dominance, right? You always have to reach the altcoins are dead phase before things will change, right? Reaching the altcoins are dead phase is pretty crucial. There was a post on Reddit the other day where someone said Bitcoin maximalism has won. Altcoins have to theoretically die in a lot of people's minds for the run to begin. And the run begins when you see the Bitcoin dominance coming back down, okay? This is the same level we peaked at around September of 2019. When it starts to come down, altcoins are moving. Generally speaking, altcoins are moving significantly when it's going down this quickly. So, So anyways, right, keep an eye on the dominance. If you start to see this trending back up, it'll probably put altcoins on hold for a while. Okay? As far as DOT, I'm staking it. I'm not attempting to trade this. If it comes back down, so be it, right? I don't intend to trade this right now. Remember, I will remind you guys once again, if you like the content, we do have the premium list, a lot of exclusive content there, weekly reports, weekly videos, a Telegram alerts channel where I basically get play-by-plays constantly throughout the day, Telegram chat room, a risk dashboard, the TradingView indicators, the premium list live streams. The sale is ending today. So I'll go to bed tonight. When I wake up in the morning, the sale's over. If you want to get grandfathered in at the lower price, make sure you sign up in like the next 12 hours or so. And you can find a link to the sale in the description below. I will also put it in the comments in case you guys want. Also, remember, we do have a public Telegram channel with over 11,000 people. So if you're looking for a community to talk crypto with whenever you want, and you need a chat room, here it is. I'll put it in the chat. If you want a chat room, it's also in the description below. We have over 11,000 people. You can talk crypto day, night, whenever you want to talk crypto. 11,000 of your closest friends are there to talk crypto with you. Oh my gosh, you guys are relentless. All right, well, we'll take some suggestions. What coins should we look at? And before we do this, I'm going to put this on slow mode before everything starts to get crazy. Looks like I'm too late. And there it went. I probably shouldn't ask 3,000 people a question at the same time. All right, we'll start with some obvious ones. We'll go with it's one that I can. Litecoin. I do own Litecoin. I bought some once Bitcoin got to the prior all-time high. I also bought some XRP, and then the SEC stuff came out. So, you can't win them all. But anyways, with Litecoin, one of the things we've said, and let me switch this over actually to a different exchange so we have more history on. One of the important things to remember with Litecoin is that on the macro scale, it bleeds against Bitcoin, okay? This is the macro Litecoin chart. So, if this, you can see here, and then this one, and then almost there, but pretty far down, here again, and then here's another one, and then there was another wick right there. So, Litecoin, over the macro scale, does bleed against Bitcoin. If you want to argue that point, argue it with the chart. Don't argue it with me. I'm just showing you the chart. The bottom tends to be around the same area, right? We've seen some bottoms in this area before. Now, I would operate on the assumption that this time is not different, okay? So if we scale back up to this level, something like that, profit time, maybe, right? Maybe it's time to take some profits. And that's how I operate generally. I mean, I also use the risk metric, but if we're up at this point, it might be time to consider that it might not pass this, right? If it does, maybe you leave some, you leave a stack, prepared to take profits higher, but just recognize the macro downtrend that we're seeing in the Litecoin Bitcoin valuation. Just something to consider. Okay, I saw Uni, so we'll cover this. I do hold this coin for full disclosure. I have held this coin for about, I don't know, 3 months or so. This is one I hold, and I've said before, I think it stands to do very well once altcoins start to rally, as people start using the Uniswap exchange more. Look for this one. Look at this one. If altcoins start to rally in general, look for this one to trend up. Okay? This is one we've been saying all along is probably a decent one to accumulate. So I would definitely take a look at Uni, especially if altcoins are gearing up for a sustained 2 to 3 week move or something. If they're not, then it's going down. It's the risk you take, right? I can't tell you what's going to happen. I can tell you there's risks associated with it. You choose to take on the risk or not. It's up to you. So I'm pretty bullish on this token. Generally speaking, I'm bullish on this token. What are some other ones? What are some other ones? Yeah, VeChain. I do hold VeChain. I mean, this is one that I think stands to do well as well. We've talked about this when I've said before that, you know, if I didn't have ADA, if ADA wasn't my, you know, in my top 5, I might consider VeChain as well. I think they're both decent picks. I think they're both decent picks. I do hold some VeChain. Okay, I do hold some. At this point, it's pretty far extended. You can take the risk on it. I'm being honest with you. I've accumulated it at lower prices. I'm not buying it here at almost 3 cents. It doesn't mean it can't go to $3, right? It does not mean it can't go up. I'm just saying, like, I have my position. I hope that it continues the move. If it doesn't, so be it. This is one I do hold as well. Yeah, we've already done Link. You guys know I'm bullish on Link. I feel like there's a good chance that, like, one day we're gonna wake up. I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow or in 3 months, and Link's gonna start another rally, and everyone's gonna look back and be like, "Oh, I didn't accumulate." But whatever. I could be wrong, right? And if I'm wrong, so be it. Yeah, we have to look at it. I agree. We'll look at we have to look at it. Here we are. We've talked about this coin in the past, actually. Let me pick a different exchange that has more history. Dogecoin. So it tends to have a pretty predictable relationship with Bitcoin. And I've said this before. You know, I've made we've had a few live streams with this coin, and if you can just like if your strategy, let's say you just have a small position, if your strategy is just buy in this band and let's say sell once it gets to that point, and maybe keep a little bit on the side to sell if it goes up even higher. But if that's your strategy, right? Like buy, sell, buy, sell. I mean, it's just the same thing over and over in terms of its valuation against Bitcoin. You have the general buy region and then the general sell region, and it just continues to repeat this. This one didn't go all the way up. It tends to repeat it time and time again. Now, I don't own this coin. Okay, I don't own it, and I just don't. Right, I have other things to focus on. With that said, you know, if you want to play the game, right? If you just want to play the game, it's something to consider, right? It can be a fun game to play, and it you know, it can theoretically help you increase your Bitcoin stack if this trend continues. We don't know if the trend will continue or not. We already talked about Polkadot. Yeah, I don't own it. I will say I do not own this coin. But can you blame people who do? I don't think so. I feel like they're doing something. They see the trend and they go for it, right? I don't feel like you can really blame people who do. I mean, the actual merits of this coin, it's more of a meme, right? It's not. But I mean, you know, when you have people like Elon Musk tweeting stuff out about it, it's going to generate interest. Let's see where Ethereum is. We're at 126. So the local top is 1,037. So let's see if we can continue the rally above 1,037. This is a pretty significant move already. And if it does come back down, it doesn't necessarily mean the rally is over. It just means we're just having a little bit of a shakeout. Potentially. Again, always keep your eyes on Bitcoin, right? Always keep your eyes on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues up or keeps sideways, then look for these coins to likely continue moving. Sorry, you guys are spamming a lot of coins. Yeah, I mean, so we'll talk about some of these ones. Sorry, let's see, Theta. Yeah, Monero is. We've gotten a lot. I've gotten a lot of requests for Theta. Maybe I'll cover it at some point. It has done pretty well, right? It has done pretty well. One of the things though is when coins go up like this, you have to be really careful. Okay, but it has done pretty well recently, so there's no doubt about it. This is a pretty extended move, right? And that's why there's so much interest in it. I mean, since November, it's up 290%. So again, there's a risk there. It has been doing pretty well recently. The risk right now is pretty high, I will say. Doesn't mean it can't go up. Yeah, Celsius is also, I do own it, actually. I do own this coin. It is up over 100x this year. So from the bottom to the top, you can see it, 15,000%. Fairly risky to get in now, but I also thought the same at $1 and $4, and now it's at $6. So pretty decent trend, right? As they say, the trend is your friend, but only till the end, and then things change. But it's generally moving up. I'm not buying Celsius right now. I would not buy. I personally am not buying it at 650, especially after this amazing increase over the last year. Doesn't mean it can't go up, right? Doesn't mean it can't go up. Let me switch this back to Ethereum because I guess I accidentally clicked off of that. Ethereum's back at 1,029. Our local top is 1,037. So let's see if we can get above that. Remember, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 81,000 subscribers. Give the video a thumbs up. And check out the description below for the Telegram channel as well as the premium list. The sale ends today. So if you want to get locked in at the lower rate and get access to the risk dashboard, the indicators, the alerts channels, the weekly reports and videos, make sure you check out that today. Yeah, it's an important topic, so we'll briefly look at it. DXY, the US dollar currency index. Keep an eye on it because it dictates Bitcoin. To a large extent, it will dictate what Bitcoin does. Here it is. The amazing move in 2017 for Bitcoin was accompanied by DXY dropping 15%. The amazing move we've seen this year since March was accompanied by DXY dropping 13%. If the dollar starts to come back up, the Bitcoin rally could be put on hold for a while. Maybe though, if this continues down, maybe we're just getting started. Here's the overall trend, right? So the question is, right, ultimately the question is, are we going to bounce back up and do something like that, or are we going to go much slower? Okay, that's the question. Keep an eye on that to try to get some direction as to where Bitcoin's headed. All right, Jacob, I think we're... goodbye. Yeah, XRP, XRP is one of those coins where it tends to do well once Bitcoin gets to the prior all-time high. But with exchanges delisting it, it certainly makes it harder, right? It certainly makes it a harder thing, because it's like you're buying something that you don't know if you can sell. So, I mean, historically, this has been a bottom, right? Historically, this has been a region where it bottoms. But with the idea that we don't know that we can sell it, it's a very risky play. Okay. Someone says my computer fan is at an all-time high. That's probably a good statement. All right. TJ, I spend TJ says I don't spend time comparing to Bitcoin charts. I feel like it's funny because a lot of times when I talk about the Bitcoin charts, so many people complain that I don't talk about USD, and then when I talk about USD, people complain about not talking about Bitcoin. So, TJ, you're free to leave if you don't like me doing both, right? I want to do both because people think of it in terms of Bitcoin and USD. I want to cater to other people. If that's not okay with you, then, I mean, it is what it is, right? Yeah, so I've seen some people say Nano's up, what, like 50% today? So this is one of those coins that it's like, like basically it's supposed to be like a peer-to-peer, right? You spend it, kind of like Bitcoin Cash, right? And some other coins. I think its primary competition, of course, would be stable coins, which I know a lot of the Nano community might disagree with, but it doesn't change the fact that it is up, from the local wick down here at 89 cents. It moved up about 80% recently over the last week or so. Over the last day, pretty nice candle, right? From the bottom of the wick to the top, 100% move. But now it's, 45% move from yesterday at the bottom of the candle to where it is today. So, I don't know. This one actually pumped to like $38 during the last cycle. I believe it pumped to $38. This one doesn't show the top. It's because it was on Binance. Binance doesn't have the top. I'm not really sure where I can't remember. Maybe KuCoin. I don't know. The top was over $30. I know that. But it's had a pretty rough life since then. But it's been trending up recently. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. All right, Ethereum's at 1,023. Ether Bitcoin is still trending up, right? We're over 0.03 now. 0.04 would be nicer. Be a lot nicer. Sorry, I'm just cleaning up the chat a little bit. Alright, would be nice to see Ethereum get moving. Let's switch over to, say, 5 minutes. Alright, we'll keep an eye on it and see if we can continue the rally or not. Alright, I feel like, we've covered a lot of coins. Let's see what DOT's doing. DOT's still at 10.30. ADA's at 22 cents. Link is still at $14, so not a whole lot has changed. And Ethereum is still at 1,022. Bitcoin at 33,194. Alright, I feel like we've covered enough coins. What other questions do you guys have? Remember to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. You know, this morning when I woke up, I saw Ethereum. We were watching Ethereum last night on stream, and it was like $800, and we watched it cross. We watched it rally, you know, from like 780 up to 800, and then this morning I woke up and I saw it at like 904, and I didn't even think anything of it. I was just like, okay. Like I think I was thinking it was 804. It didn't like compute at first that it had gone up $100 while I was sleeping, and I only slept for like 4 or 5 hours. So it was kind of interesting when I realized, I was like, wait, that's $900? But it was just $800. Now it's $900, and then 12 hours later, it's now $1,000. It's definitely moving up quickly. How many monitors am I using? 2. Someone says Ethereum has been hitting the 6-hour moving average on the dot. Let's pull it up and see if he's right. So I think he said the hourly. So we'll pull up the moving average. So we'll go to the 6-hour, I believe is what he said. Let's I don't know. That doesn't really look like holding it on the dot to me, right? That's a 6 hour? That's what you were talking about? Let's switch. Maybe he meant the 9, because the 9 maybe looked like it. There's the 9 hour. I'm not a day trader. I don't pretend to be a day trader. I'm not going to try to be a day trader. But if that's what he's talking about, that's the 9 hour. It looks like it's currently at 992, right? Someone says, why is the market cap different on CoinMarketCap versus other places? I mean, it could just be that they're including more coins than other places. We have videos on the money supply and DXY and Bitcoin. Because one of the charts that we pulled up, right, was Bitcoin USD divided by the money supply. Right? Is this a... So it took us longer here to cross the prior all-time high. This is Bitcoin divided by the money supply, M2. So it gives you an idea of, it tries to take into account the money supply going up, right? And the reason why that's important is because the money supply, since March, that was the trend we were on since 2011, even before. And then since March, it's extended a lot. We were not going to have this money, like this level of money floating through the economy until 2023. So definitely might have changed things a little bit. How long do alt seasons historically last? They can last several weeks sometimes. I mean, sometimes coins have rallied for months and months. But if you're talking about the entire altcoin market moving up, usually maybe I would say between 2 to 4 weeks or so is usually where their upper limit is. Remember to join the Telegram channel if you guys are looking for a community. I'll post it in the comments. I did have a good New Year's. I mean, stuck in my house because of what's going on in the world, but yeah, I noticed that we are getting close to a 1 trillion market cap. So this is the total cryptocurrency market cap. So we're clearly above where we were. This one shows the total market cap, the highest as 765 billion. According to CoinMarketCap, it was closer to 800 and it was over 800 billion. But now we're at 886 billion. So we have definitively put in a higher market capitalization of the entire asset class than we've ever had before. Okay, this, I guess this is the, I don't even know what this is, a 9-week moving average. But anyways, this is where we currently are, right? We are closing in on 1 trillion. So 1 trillion would be up here. So that would be a $1 trillion market capitalization for the entire crypto asset class. So look for that. That might be a big milestone for us to pass. Ethereum is back above 1,030. We're at 1,032. I always joke about it looking like the map of the United States, right? If you close this off, right, something like that, kind of looks like the United States. You got Texas, right? You have Florida down here. This is Maine up here, Washington, Oregon, California. As I said before, right? Who was buying in Texas? Who was buying in Florida? Who's buying in Nova Scotia? All the way up here. This is our map. Now, I mean, with that in mind, I mean, I don't know where we're gonna go. Maybe we're gonna have a blow off top somewhere, and then we'll navigate the Atlantic Ocean for a while before getting over to Europe and climbing up to like Sweden, or not Sweden, or actually like Nova, or like what are they called? Like Norway, Sweden. One of those. Can't think of the name. The Scandinavian countries, all the way up in the Scandinavia area. Maybe that's where we'll go. But anyways, looks like it to me, and this is the total market cap, right? If you look at Bitcoin, same thing, right? Log scale. Just a nice map of the United States, more or less. All right, let's see where Ethereum is. Oh, Ethereum's at 1,042. Let's buckle up. We're moving. Let's zoom in here. Let's go to the 1 minute time frame. Let's remove that, and we are moving. $1,044 is our local top now. Let's see what everything else is doing. So Ethereum, Bitcoin is moving up. That's good. So Bitcoin is staying still. As I've said before, right? Bitcoin's a dog, Ethereum's a cat. Bitcoin goes, doesn't really care about the news, doesn't care about anything. If it does anything out of the ordinary, Ethereum is like a cat. It stops, it goes and hides for a few days. Bitcoin calms down, the coast is clear, Ethereum will run. So hopefully Bitcoin stays and Ethereum can keep going. Let's see if we can push up. Maybe we'll get to $1,100 on stream. It's still a ways to go, of course, but things can change really quickly. Putting in new all-time high. Well, not all-time highs. We've been higher, but local highs, local tops. 1,046, 1,047. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. Make sure Bitcoin doesn't go anywhere. Ethereum Bitcoin valuation. It looks like we are actually right at the 20-week. Okay, this might be an important level. Probably not. Hasn't really cared about it in the past, but you know, when we're looking at things like Bitcoin USD, let's get that nonsense off here. But when you're looking at, say, let's pull up the invite only. So bull market support, right? The 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA are the support for Bitcoin in a bull market. If you go look at Ether Bitcoin, we are right around the 20-week. I don't think it's as important. I mean, with Ethereum USD, ooh, 1,049. Can I get a 1,050? But if you go look at Ethereum USD, we also have the support band, right? Tends to hold as support in a bull market, right? And during a correction. We're well above it right now because it ranges from around 518 up to 565. We're nowhere close to it right now. But in the event of a correction, that's where we would want to hold as support whenever we do theoretically correct. So let's switch back over to a minute time frame and see what's going on. Nice little rally. So we rallied up from 1,020 or so up to 1,000, almost, yeah, we hit 150 or 1,050. So we've gone to 1,050. Let's see what everything else is doing. Where's ADA? ADA is still at 22 cents. Link is still at $14, so those aren't really moving that much. One of the things, as we've said before with ADA, is to consider that it historically, I'm not saying it will for the entire market cycle because ADA's never lived through a full bull market, but historically it has bled against Ethereum, but the tops tend to be the same. So, you know, if you see it come down and then ultimately come up or something like that, just recognize that, right? This trend that it's been on. Something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe something like that. I don't know. Good thing Bitcoin is staying still, and Ethereum is still doing okay. So it has come down a little bit, but we're still at 1,040 or so. Remember to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Let's get to 2,000 likes. Someone says you've never said Bitcoin Cash in your whole life. That's not true. We said it earlier when we were talking about Nano. We have talked about it. Someone said they sold their ADA at 20 cents like a dummy. I'll say this now. There's nothing wrong with taking profits, right? Don't think like that. Like, taking profits during a bull market is the name of the game. That's how you ensure that you win from the investments that you were making for a long time. You can't, I mean, generally my strategy is to not sell everything. I scale the sales up during the bull market later on. But I would say don't ever beat yourself up for taking profits. Profits is the name of the game. Despite what other people might tell you, in my opinion, that's how you should operate. And once you start taking profits, it can become addicting because you'll see your bank account grow. Imagine that thought. 1,050. Here we go, 1,053. Are we going to push higher here? Here we go for 1,100. A cool $1,100 Ethereum. The previous all-time high for Ethereum is just above $1,400 or so. Someone said Bitcoin is oversold. I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure it's overbought if you're talking about the RSI. $1,055. What a day for Ethereum. In the last 24 hours, it's gone from like 780 to 1,050. Think about that. It's gone up like $300 in a day. Back in earlier this year, it wasn't even worth $300. At one point, it was worth less than $100. Now it's going up $300 a day. All right, it's a pretty cool time. Let's see. I imagine dominance is dropping. Yep, it is. Good thing to see. Just like it dropped back in September. Bitcoin's staying put for the most part. Still at 33.3. DOT at 1040. ADA at almost back to 23 cents. Keep an eye on that one. VeChain is I do hold 20 almost 3 cents 026. Link, I want to see a $15 link. Let's see a $15 link. We're at 1473. I mean, you can see them up here too, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT. A lot of money to be made in these markets. A lot of money to be lost in these markets. Try to be on the right side of that. Let's look at a slightly longer time frame and see how things look. This is a 5-minute time frame. Yeah, generally moving up here. 15-minute. We'll see if we can push to 1100. I would love to capture an $1,100 Ether live on stream. Who wouldn't want to see a live $1,100 Ether here on stream? Someone says Ethereum's about to crash because there's no volume. You know, Ethereum can crash at any time. It doesn't matter if there's a lot of volume or not. Back when Bitcoin was at 4K or so, everyone was saying it was going to crash because there was, the volume was going down, and then it exploded to $14,000. So just because the volume's not there does not mean that it has to immediately crash. It could crash, right? It's crypto. The market could crash tomorrow, and hopefully everyone has reasonable stop losses set in that case. Hopefully everyone has taken profits if that happens. But it doesn't mean it has to immediately crash. We're up to 0.0316, so we are on our way. Welcome home, Ethereum. Let's see where DOT is, 1042. ADA is still at 22 cents, and Link is at 1483. So maybe we're going to close in on a $15 link on stream. I would like to see that, a $15 link. I mean, I'd like to see a $50 link, but I mean, let's take one step at a time. Here we go, 1,058. We hit 1,059. We're about $40 away from $1,100. So maybe we'll make it on stream. Make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Someone says 1,061. All right, maybe we're gonna make it. Let's switch over to the monthly here and look back at it. That's where we had our monthly top at 11, about 11:11 or so, 11:15, with a wick to 1,400. So we'll switch it back over to the minute. So that's where the monthly top was, not including the wick. Yeah, someone says that may be a W. That's what we drew that earlier on stream. Who watched the videos where we were saying for months that Ethereum does well against Bitcoin in Q1, right? Let me know in the comments. Did you know, it's all based on the data, right? The data told us Ethereum does well against Bitcoin in Q1. Here we are. It's Q1. It's going up. Big surprise, right? Not a big surprise at all. 1,067. Yeah. Remember the end of December. 1,067, 1,069. We're getting close, guys. We're getting close. A $15 link. We rung in a $15 link here. So link is moving up. I'd prefer a $50 link, but we'll start with $15. Sometimes I feel like I'm like an auctioneer or something. Honestly, I would expect Ethereum to calm down at some point. It doesn't mean the rally won't continue, but I mean we're essentially talking about we're talking about a $300 move in a day, and it's not like, I mean, $300 for Ethereum is a pretty nice percentage because it was only $800 yesterday, and it was less than $800 yesterday, and we're closing in on $1,100 today. It shows you how the explosive power of Ethereum, right? What does Ethereum say to Bitcoin? Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. We'll see it move up. I think the volatility on it's going to be higher than Bitcoin. And it already is, right? I mean, as measured from the bottom, it's already up over 10x in March. Bitcoin's not up 10x from March. Dominance has to be going, the dominance is still dropping like a rock. 69%. I love seeing a $15 link. I hope it's just the beginning though. Litecoin's at 165. Bitcoin's doing what it needs to do. So thank you for telling it sit or stay. It's still doing it. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's keep on pushing up. $1,100 is on the cards. Maybe tonight. We'll see. That's where we need to get to. Up there. Let's just give Ethereum a minute to cool off. You know, you can't You don't want to spook it. Happy to see Bitcoin staying. We're now at 0.032. So we're moving up. 0.032. Those $1,500, $1,400 speculations start to seem less and less absurd, right? Every single day. Yesterday, pretty absurd. Today, not as absurd, right? I mean, we literally covered like half the distance in a day. Who thinks January should be renamed Ethuary? That might be a good name for January. Alright, we're pausing. Ethereum's pausing for a little bit. Still $1,061 Ether. Getting close to $1,100. We're starting to get spoiled at this point, right? It's easy to get spoiled when it goes up $300 a day. Bitcoin's going down actually slightly, which is good, which means the Bitcoin dominance has to be, yeah, still, I mean, we might be getting below 69 soon here. Glad you like it, Zach. All right, let's make it. Let's make it to 1100. Link is 1510. Can we get a $16 link? Remember, it's all fun and games till you wake up and the market's down 30%. It's not so fun anymore. So make sure you're responsible. Make sure you're responsible and you're not investing more than you can afford to lose. You have stop limits set if you want to ensure profits, etc., etc., etc. Here we're just chilling, watching the prices, but it is serious, right? This is serious money that people are making, life-changing wealth. You know, it's not every day that the altcoin, that crypto does this type of thing. So when it does do it, don't squander it, right? Don't squander it doing something silly. Learn from the people who have come before you and done those silly things, or learn from yourself if you made those mistakes in the past. So we got a 15.2 link. We're moving up here too. Moving up. A 15.26. Here we go, 15.25. Let's see, Ethereum still at 160. 15.3. Link is moving up. All right, we'll keep an eye on Ethereum. See if we can get back on course because we're spoiled and we want to see it move up on the minute time frame. This is what leads to like the such negative sentiment in bear markets is everyone gets used to this and then one day it stops and it doesn't come back for years. This is what we're here for. This is exactly why we're here. Okay, these are the moves we spend months and years discussing so that when they happen, we're ready for it, right? We want to be ready for it. We have a 1540 link. Maybe we will get to $16 on stream. What's this? Looks like it's going sideways. What's Bitcoin doing? Yeah, it's because Bitcoin's going down still. So Bitcoin, when Bitcoin starts to drop a little, Ethereum it can pause these things. Of course, it's short-term TA. It doesn't really mean anything, but who's enjoying themselves tonight? I mean, honestly, is this one of the better days in crypto in a while? Right? This is probably one of the better days we've seen in a long time in crypto. Yeah, life changing wealth. Remember, if you get to that point where you can do something that you can't imagine doing, like maybe paying off your mortgage, whatever it is, don't squander the opportunity, right? There's always another bull market. There's always another crazy move somewhere, and I think in terms of the grand scheme of the market cycle for crypto, we're probably just getting started. But don't squander opportunities to change your life. It doesn't matter, right? It's not worth, to me. It's not worth the risk. If you want to take on the risk, you can do so. But if you do experience that life-changing wealth at some point, don't keep moving the goalpost. Not financial advice, no financial advice here, but if you have a goalpost and you hit it, continuing to move it back means eventually you won't get to the next one and it'll never get back close to that in the short term. Huh. Jesus has a nice story. He says 3 years ago he was standing at a cash register and investing his paycheck into stocks and crypto, and today he's laying in his warm bed making life changing money with you fine people. So you see, it really has changed a lot of people's lives. You know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, a lot of these coins have really changed people's lives. You just don't want to be the person coming in during the parabolic move. You want to be the person moving in well before that. Don't chase the pump, let the pump come to you. All right, let's do some pretty rigorous 1 minute TA. All right, so we started going sideways here, and we went sideways for an hour. We don't want to go side. Well, let's take it from here. It's so far been 14 minutes. An hour would be quite the shame, because I don't know if that I'm going to be on for another hour, but we'll see. You know, the prior all-time high for Link is like $20. So that might be an area to watch if it gets moving. $20, maybe above 20, it starts to fly. I don't know. Obviously, it depends on the health of the market as a whole. Someone says stay Bitcoin, stay. I agree. It needs to stay. Let's keep it at 33K. As long as possible, keep it at 33K, and the rest of the market should keep moving. As I've said before, I do not chase. I have my positions at this point. I'm not putting any money into crypto right now, right? This is not, in my opinion, this is not the time to chase. If you do it, you stand to make money, right? You could make money because there's a good chance things continue going up, but there's also a chance that they don't. Recognize the risk. I'm not putting any money into crypto at this point. I have my positions, they're set, letting them run. I can stomach short-term moves to the downside. That's it. It's as simple as that. If you want to come in now, recognize you're coming up in a heated market. It could go well in the short term. It might not. Just know the risk associated with it. A lot of people on stream have been here for over a year, and we've been literally waiting for this moment for a long time, for years. Okay? We've been waiting for it for years. So these are the people you're up against. You're up against people that are already up 10x or 100x on coins, and you're coming in now. You're basically, playing ball with these guys. Recognize the risk. Doesn't mean it can't go up, but recognize the risk. Someone says, who's a good boy? Bitcoin still staying put. It's easy, normally I don't get impatient, but like with crypto, because we know it takes time. Time is on our side. When you're looking at 1 minute time frames, it has a way of, really wanting you to just say like, just keep moving again. Let's get back to $1,100. It's been 3 years. Let's do it tonight. And I mean, one of the things to say too is that Ethereum could cool down at any time, and it doesn't mean that necessarily the run's over, right? It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that it's cooling down. We just get spoiled. We have a new local top now, 1,073.79. We're pushing higher. Yeah, let's get back to work, Ethereum, 1,075. Getting back to work, 1,076. 1,077, 1,078. We going to 1,100. Let's see, what is Bitcoin doing? It's staying put like a good boy. Back to Ethereum. Bitcoin's got to be doing pretty well. We're almost at 0.0325. We are definitely back in this uptrend that we've been on for a while now, over a year. I mean, we knew we had a good feeling this was going to happen in January. We've been calling it for months. We got to go up a little bit more to get to 1,100. From where we currently are, we need to go up a modest 3%. A modest 3% to get us to 1,100. It's been a journey. We came on stream right around $1,000, so it's a lot of hard work for us to get up there. But as we say, it's not much, but it's honest work. The current top is 1078 locally. The global top is 14 something, over $1,400. Who owns Ethereum in the chat? You guys, is Ethereum one of your coins? Hopefully. It's doing quite well. Alright, maybe a little bit of a cool off. A little bit of a cool off. As I said before, I'm not buying Ethereum here. This is the other money. The other money pouring in. Let them buy it. I'm not buying it here. You could have bought Ethereum for 500 bucks a few weeks ago. I just want to be clear about that. You know, I want to be clear that I'm not buying Ethereum at this level. Doesn't mean it won't go up. I hope it goes up because I want to profit even more, but I'm just saying it's not worth, to me, it's not worth the risk at this point. You know what's crazy is, I mean, Ethereum's still moving up, Bitcoin's still bleeding a little, right? Now it's almost less than 33K, but Ethereum is doing just fine. It doesn't need Bitcoin right now. We'll see if we can keep going. We're back almost. We're 1,077. Oh, there we go. 1,079. 20 more dollars. 20 more. I'll make it to 1,100. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's give the video a thumbs up. There's a rumor we need to get to 2,000 likes before we'll break 1,100. Yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel if you guys want to be a part of the market cycle. There's going to be up times like this. There's going to be down times. But we want to be there every step of the way. We'll still be here during bear market times. We'll be here during bull market times. We'll be here every step of the way. Remember, the bull markets make you money. Bear markets make you rich. Pigs will be fed well. The hogs will go to slaughter. So if you get too greedy, your portfolio will get slaughtered. Is just simply how to say it. I mean, as they say it, right? Bulls get fed, or bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. Yeah, we talked about Dogecoin earlier. So if you just scroll back, we spoke about it a little bit earlier in the stream. You can see I have the tab up here for it. Bitcoin is below 33K, so we still are seeing a sustained Ether move here, which is good because Bitcoin volatility is still okay. It's not like we're watching a $3,000 crash or a $5,000 or a $10,000 crash yet. Alright, let's see how high we can go. $1,081. $1,087. $1,088. Man, it's a crazy, crazy night. Remember the end of December for Ethereum. Don't forget about it next year. Remember the end of December. Again, I cannot stress this enough. I am not buying Ethereum here. I just am not. It doesn't mean it won't go up. I have not sold any of my Ethereum yet. I have all of my Ethereum that I've accumulated. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. We're at 1,090. Let's see if we can make 1,100. Don't be surprised if we get a cool-off period, okay? There's nothing wrong with that if it goes sideways for a few days. Nothing wrong with that at all. If it doesn't, then great, right? Let's see where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's still at 33K. We are closing in on $1,100 Ether. If you guys want to know what I'm doing and where I place stop losses and stop limits and all this stuff, according to various strategies, we present a lot of them. Premium list, sell ends today. So if you guys want access to it, the risk dashboard, which is what I used to trade, the trading view indicators, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the weekly reports and videos, you can find that in the description below. I will post a link as well. Obviously, if that's not your thing, that's cool too. 1,094. Are we going for it? We also have a public Telegram channel that you guys should check out if you haven't and you want a community for the market cycle. It's pretty well moderated, so I would encourage you to check it out. If you're a premium subscriber and you don't know the strategies, there is a Telegram alerts channel. It should be in the welcome email that you get, how to access it. 1,096. Now, we can't check other coins right now. Ethereum is where the party is, okay? Link, maybe, it's 1,550. We're not going down the rabbit trail of other coins, and we have almost an $1,100 Ether on the cards. The Ethereum Bitcoin is now at 0.033. I'm going to keep saying it, right? Remember, at the end of December. 1,096. We're almost there. It would not be surprising to hit it and to come back down for a little. Just so you know, right? It would not be surprising. 1,098. It also wouldn't be surprising to blow through it like butter, cut through it like butter. 1,097 still. We also do have a lifetime option for those who want the lifetime option. That's in the description below as well. But generally, you should check out the monthly subscription to make sure it's what you want first. All right, we got to hit it, right? We got to hit 1,100. Look at all the hard work we put in over the last 2.5 hours almost. What's the lowest price you guys have purchased Ethereum at? I'm curious. What's the lowest price you've bought in at? A lot of 100, 200s, $80, 300, 400, 200. It's good to see that a lot of people got in for lower. Yeah, a lot of low numbers in the chat. That's pretty good. I'm curious, is there anyone in the chat that bought Ethereum at $1 in 2015 and has never sold it? I'm really curious. Has there been anyone that bought Ethereum at $1 in 2015 and never sold it? Bitcoin's back below 33, which is good. That's where it belongs. Yeah, I mean, if you bought Ethereum, if you're buying Ethereum in March, you're doing really well right now. You're up more than 10x, which is a lot of us, right? I mean, we were covering Ethereum back then, talking about how great of an opportunity it was. $1,089. Not pretty worthless. Bitcoin, the reason why I said Bitcoin being below 33 is good because as long as Bitcoin volatility isn't going up, then it means Ethereum can run. If Bitcoin goes to like 35, 36K, then Ethereum's probably going to stop. So we want Bitcoin to stay for as long as possible so that Ethereum can keep running. That's the reason. ADA's back above 23 cents, so that's good to see. The 23-cent ADA. All right, $8 to go. Someone says Link is just being dragged up, but I mean, maybe that's true, but a lot of coins aren't being dragged up by anything. They're still sitting still. 1,097, 1,096, we're gonna do it? It's been a hard day's work. Let's try to make it. Again, I'm not buying Ethereum here. If it goes down to $800, I don't care, right? I don't care. I have a, I have a stop loss in place. It's fine. I would not be purchasing, and this is a FOMO. This is FOMO. It doesn't mean it can't go to 2,000. Doesn't mean it can't go to 3,000. To me, it's not worth the risk at this point. The time to get in was 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, maybe 700. Not now. Doesn't mean it won't go up. If you have a higher risk tolerance than me, maybe you are buying, and maybe that's okay. Maybe it'll work out really well for you. Just recognize where we are. We're not in the accumulation zone. Okay? We're just simply not. If we look... Well, this is on... let's look at Ethereum USD. Let's go look at it on Kraken. It's got a nice history there. Full featured chart. Let's switch it over to the weekly time frame. Let's overlay our regression band. That's the accumulation zone, right? Generally speaking, accumulation, 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 for the most part. I have been accumulating up here as well because the risk level was low enough. Hopefully we put in another Ethereum mountain here. My favorite mountain range, all right, my favorite mountain range are the Ethereum mountains. All right, these mountains. Those. This is a new mountain. This is a new mountain we're forming. I do like Uniswap, yeah. Ada's holding on here. Ada's doing well. It's, you know, it's moving up to 23 cents. I do have a position in Ada, and a pretty decent position. Bitcoin's still less than 33K. Ethereum is closing in on $1,100. Look at this. This just looks insane. It just looks insane. This is do not be surprised in the least if it cools off. Okay, don't be surprised. Doesn't mean we're not going to keep going up for weeks. I'm just, yeah, bull markets have a way of spoiling you for years. They'll spoil you. You know, if you look at Bitcoin and we put on our regression band, let's go to let's make sure Ethereum's still there. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna switch this over to the BLX and just quickly show where we are on the logarithmic regression analysis. So we're going to zoom out the weekly time frame. If Ethereum starts to go up, actually I think it dropped a little. Well, 1087, whatever. The BLX, we're going to overlay our regression bands. Here we are. So this is for Bitcoin, right? So our accumulation, right? Peak, peak, peak. I don't know if we're going to go up to the top on this run. It's possible. I don't think it will happen. It's possible. Anything's possible. It simply is. Anything is possible. But, you know, there's also a chance we come back down like we did in 2019 and don't go to the top yet. But this is Bitcoin. Let's see where Ethereum, 1089, we're keeping an eye on it. Now, we're going to put on our regression rainbow. Okay, so similar to last cycle, our accumulation window, right? Our accumulation window, and then in this cycle, our accumulation window, accumulation corridor, right? This cycle, to the top of this one, then to the bottom, back to the top. Maybe this is a local top for a while. Maybe it's not, but just recognize where we are. Ethereum's still at 1089. Let's go back to the BLX. We're going to remove this. We're also going to look at overextension from the 20-week. Okay? The natural log of the price over the 20-week. This is the macro chart. It will break eventually. It has to break, otherwise it implies we're always below the 20-week. But a pretty nice matchup so far, right? Pretty nice. As long as the price of Bitcoin goes sideways, then this will eventually go down as the 20-week moving average plays catch up. But you can see, generally speaking, so far these have been local tops as the 20-week moving average plays catch up. Okay, so that's another indicator. You get access to all these with the premium list. Again, the sale will end tomorrow morning when I wake up. Also, and you can find that in the description below, the other one is the overextension from the bottom of the regression band. Sorry, that's the Ethereum one. This one in 2019. Bitcoin reached, from the fair value, which is based on non-bubble data, reached an overvaluation of about 195% or so. Somewhere in that ballpark. Here, it's right around that level, 200%. Okay? Another interesting thing, which is not, it probably doesn't mean a thing, so take it with a grain of salt, because it probably doesn't mean a thing. Okay? With that said, it's fun to look. Measured in let's go weeks from that top to the 2019 top, 79 weeks. From the 2019 top to where we currently are, 80 weeks. Pretty similar time frame. We'll see if we push higher. This probably doesn't mean anything, but just something to note. All right, Ethereum's cooling off a little bit. It's okay. 1084. We started the stream, what, like way around this level? Someone says, no cool off allowed. Ethereum, get back to work. Who said you could drop the ball here? Bitcoin's back above 33, but it's still sitting at 33.1. Here comes ADA as well, 23.5 cents. ADA's doing well. It's coming up with Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum, get back to work here. Back to 1090. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. We said earlier 2,000 likes. We'll likely, we need 2,000 likes to get to an $1,100 Ether. We're almost there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll be here every step of the way for the market cycle, even during the bad times. We'll still come on, say we'll do a, we'll look at a damage report, see what we did, maybe what we could have done better, try to adjust, continue on. 1,095. Don't give up on us here. Don't give up on us. Let's keep it moving. Let's see if we can keep going. We're only $8 away. Don't be surprised if we cool off, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Even if we go back to $1,000, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. It was less than $800 a day ago. Nothing wrong with $1,000 Ether on January 3rd when we were at less than an $800 Ether on January 2nd. We'll see if this immediate move has anything left in the tank. ADA is still doing well. It's at 23.7. Yeah, I know the chair's squeaky, but it costs a lot of satoshis to get a new chair, so we can't have that. 1,090. Is this the candle who could? $1,094. Nope. Coming back down. Nope. Was not the candle who could. Straight back down. Don't you guys love 1 minute time frames where nothing makes sense? Was not the candle who could. Was not. Is this the one? Maybe not. Yeah, I mean, I get that we're close to an $1,100. What's a few bucks among friends, right? It's just the mental aspect of an $1,100 ether, because it gets us to the monthly. I mean, we're essentially there at this point, right? If you look at monthly candles, we've made it, right? We've made it to the top of where we were back in, basically, right? We're almost there. We need to get a little bit over 1,100, but we're almost there. So we've completed the W that we've been talking about for a long time, right? Back up. What a journey it was. Happy you guys were along for the ride. Oh, we gotta draw our trend line back on. There we go. Still at 1,090. This really is insane. I mean, it's gone up $300 in 24 hours. This is insane. It deserves a rest at some point, right? It really does. Remember, $1,000 ether is still pretty bullish, even if it goes back down. Still pretty bullish. This is very, very quick. What time am I waking up to end the premium list sale? I don't know. Whenever I wake up. Depends on when my kids wake up. ADA is almost at 24 cents, so just keep an eye on it, right? We're closing in on 24 cents. Don't forget about it. Still not hitting it yet. Yeah, I've always joked with people about guessing my middle initial, since my first initial is B and my last initial is C. Make sure you guys subscribe. Let's get to 81,000 subscribers and give the video a thumbs up if you guys like the content. This is the longest live stream I've done, I believe. We're over 2.5 hours now. I usually cut it off at 2 hours at the latest. Thanks for joining the premium list. Do you guys remember in December when the Ethereum valuation reached almost 0.02? Now it is 0.032. Litecoin's doing well. It's also doing well. It's at 172. I do have a position in Litecoin. I got it when Bitcoin got to the prior all-time high. We'll see where it takes us. Okay, we'll see where it takes us. But I'm more so watching Ethereum right now, because my Ethereum position is so much larger than my Litecoin position. All right, 1096. Which is the candle that's going to be the candle who could? 1098. Oh, a new local top. A new local top. 1098.66. 1098.98. 1099. Come on, let's get it. 1100. We did it. What a good night's work. What a solid way to spend the evening, to usher in Ethereum from a $1,000 Ethereum to an $1,100, and now we're above it. 1101, 1102, 110. Look for maybe 1120 or so to maybe have some, I don't know. But 1120, this was the I think it was around 1120 or so was the monthly level. But again, or anything around 1100 is right back up there where we were back in January and February of 2018. Last night we watched, if you think about it, last night we watched Ethereum get to 800, and tonight we watched it get to 1100. Think about that. 800, next night 1100, and it's still moving up. 1108. You know, if you think about it, if you think about it for a minute, an $1,100 Ether is really cool, but it makes me wonder, what would a $1,200 Ether feel like, right? What would a $1,200 Ether feel like? Because 1100 feels pretty good. I wonder what 1200 would be like. $11.06. Honestly, I kind of want it to cool off so I can end the stream. It's just hard to end the stream when it's going up like $1 a minute on average or something. Well, 11.11. Remember what? Oh, and look at ADA. Oh, ADA's at 24 cents, so we're cooking here. Quite the move. I mean, really quite the move. The stream we did last night took us here. I mean, this was literally yesterday. We watched it go over 800, and since then it passed 900, it passed 1,000, it passed 1,100. This is insane. Man, Bitcoin's moving up a little. We need to tell Bitcoin to chill out, and we don't want it moving. Still at 33.3, but I don't want it to get any funny ideas here. Alright guys, again, this is all fun and games, right? It's all fun and games. There's going to be a morning we wake up and the market's going to be significantly down. I don't know when it's going to be. It could be tomorrow. It could be the next day. It could be 3 weeks from now. Just be smart. Be smart. Don't bet the family farm. Don't do anything silly. I've seen a lot of people get burned. Be responsible. You know, having stop losses set, stop limits is a good thing, in my opinion. Be responsible. Don't be the guy FOMOing in at the top and then watching it come back down as you basically bought everyone's bags that were buying at $100 and $200. Don't be that guy. So if you're coming in now, you have to recognize the risk associated with it. I'm not buying Ether now. It's too extended. This is a manic move. We don't know how high it could go. It could go to $2,000. It could go to $2,500. I don't know. It could stop at 1124 for all we know. Maybe 1124 is the local top. But it's not. Now we're at 1127. Gosh. $11.30. Yeah, let's look at the Bitcoin dominance. Below 69, dropping like a rock. There's a rumor going around that 3,000 likes would be a $1,200 Ether. I don't know if it's true or not. It's just a rumor. But the 3,000 likes would be a $1,200 Ether. Yeah, there's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors in crypto. What can we say? There's a lot of rumors. The last rumor turned out to be true, right? We said 2,000 likes, $1,100 Ether. It turned out to be true. Did why is the price not updating? Did something happen with coin? What's going on? Is the exchange having issues? Or is it just my connection? Here we go, 1135. Going up, commensurate with the number of likes. So 3,000 likes. 1137 is our new local top. Alright, Coinbase is fine. It looks like it's moving again here. 1139, 1140. Man, it feels good to hold Ether. It's all fun and games until you wake up and it's down 30%. Be responsible. And Bitcoin continues to be a good boy, sitting at around 33.4. That's exactly what it needs to do. Let's make sure it doesn't go anywhere. This is probably the most insane move we've caught on stream. Can anyone think of a move that we caught on stream that was more significant than watching Ether do this? I don't think so. Yeah, let's look at Ether Bitcoin. Why not? Almost at 0.034. Straight up, almost. We'll say it again. Remember the end of December. Here we go. Back to the monthly. The 50-month is at 0.041. Keep an eye on it. That would be around a $1,400 Ether at the current Bitcoin price, I believe. $1,400 Ether, or maybe $1,500 Ether, depending on exactly where Bitcoin is if it reaches the 50-month. Why the 50-month? That was where the top was in the summer of 2020. Earlier last year. Summer of 2020, that was where the top was. The current valuation of it is 0.0415 or so. So if we get there, that implies around a $1,400 to $1,500 ether. You know, it's easy to get caught up, right? It's easy to get caught up in everything, the FOMO and everything. But again, as we said, if you're new to the stream, I am not buying here. I would not recommend people buy here. It doesn't mean the price won't go up. But if you're buying here, then you have a much higher risk tolerance than I do. Okay? Just want to make that clear. It's really gambling if you're buying Ether on a day where it's up $300, right? Over $300 in a day. It's a huge gamble. It really is. But it doesn't mean it won't go higher. So just recognize the risk. People are saying what a massive dump. From 1140 here, why don't we switch it? We'll make you guys feel a little bit better. Let's switch it to 5-minute candles. Let's switch it to 15-minute. That way there's no, it doesn't look nearly as bad, right? Up and then slightly down, up and then slightly down, up and then slightly down. These are 15-minute candles. We're going to get a pullback at some point, but I don't know how high this is going to go. I feel like we're going to remember this night for a while, though. See, ADA's coming in at 23.6, Link at 15.40, DOT at 10.20. These are the main ones I follow, and Bitcoin at 33.3. The Bitcoin dominance is still dropping like a rock. Same top as 2019 here. Altcoins are dead until they're not, as we've said many, many times. If altcoins are dead, as people say, right? What is dead may never die. So we're still cooking. 11:23. We said it before, right? Petition to rename January Ethuary. ETH, Ethuary, if you want to call it ETH instead of F. Ethuary. Let's see where our move is, actually, because we've always spoken about the January Ether move against Bitcoin. So let's see where it is. How far up are we from the bottom? We've said before that the lowest we've gone up in Q1 or the very end of December is 60% or so. So far, we're up 48%, around 50% or so. So we're doing exactly what we've done every single year. This is just the 6th year in a row that we've seen this happen. So no surprise here. Really no surprise. $11.27. Remember to subscribe. Let's get to 81,000 subscribers. Give the video a thumbs up. Let's take a look back at the regression band and see where we are. What a beautiful move, right? What a beautiful move. The Ethereum mountain range. $11.34. The local top is $11.40. Remember, it will not do this forever. It will likely outperform Bitcoin. That's why we hold Ethereum, because our risk-adjusted returns are improved by holding a portion of Ethereum. We expect it to perform better than Bitcoin, but we pay for it with more units of risk. And everyone holding Ethereum here today, who've been holding it the last few weeks, you experienced that risk. Okay, we all experienced the risk, that volatility. We all experienced it. We watched Ether go from like what, $700, a flash crash down to $550 and back up. Here we go, 1147. Remember, the rumor again is 3,000 likes equals $1,200 Ether, just like 2,000 likes equaled $1,100 Ether. We're already almost halfway. We've already come this far, might as well keep on going. Wow, in 6 more minutes we'll be at 3-hour live stream. 3,000 likes, hopefully a $1,200 Ether. Make sure you subscribe. We also have a Telegram channel, a growing community, over 11,000 people on that Telegram channel. It's pretty well moderated. Make sure you guys check it out. It's in the description below. I just put it in the comments. The premium list sale is ending when I wake up tomorrow. So if you guys want access to the exclusive content, the TradingView indicators, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the regression, the TradingView, the regression analysis that you see on TradingView, the weekly reports, weekly videos, etc. Make sure you guys check it out. I will say this again though. If you're looking at your portfolio balance and you're looking at life-changing wealth, and consider it. All right, 11:59, enough with the talk. 11:62. All right, 250 more likes to get us to $1,200 Ether. $11.67, $11.68. I'm not telling people to sell early, Relentless. I'm telling them to be responsible. And goodbye anyways. Remember, in order to ensure profits, you don't have to market sell. You can always just put a stop loss or something. And by the way, I would only be, if I did sell, which I still have all of my Ether because it's going up more or less monotonically at this point. If I did sell, it would only be a small portion of my Ether. I would still keep most of it, 9/10 of it, I would keep for higher risk bands. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking profits. We'll say it all the way up. We'll say it all the way down. Nothing wrong with it. $11.63. It's all fun and you're right. I mean, when you're in a bull market, anyone that ever sells is written off as like an idiot, right? They're written off as an idiot, and then in hindsight, they're looked at as geniuses for recognizing things. I think Ethereum stands to go much higher this market cycle. I think it stands to go to, I mean, I don't know if it'll get to 10,000, 5 figures, but I think it could go up much higher than $1,100, right? I think it could go 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, maybe 7,000, 8,000. I think that's potentially on the cards, okay? But it might not go there tomorrow. It could take it a few years. If it takes it a few years, so be it. But let's recognize each and every move. All right, Ether's cooling off for a few minutes here, giving people time to look back at the Bitcoin dominance chart and be appreciative of the fact that aughts are not dead. Look at the Ether Bitcoin chart, see that we're almost at 0.3035. I mean, we're moving, we're cooking. This is the move we want, going from December into Q1. This is exactly the move we wanted to see. I honestly don't think it could have been better. To be completely honest, I don't think this move could have played out any better. I mean, it's moving up so quickly. ADA is around 24 cents. Link's at 1560. It's an Ethereum show today, boys and girls. An Ethereum show today. The reason why I first said boys, ladies and gentlemen, I should probably say, based on YouTube statistics, 95% of the audience is male. So 5% of you are female. Just YouTube stats. $11.62. Bitcoin still chilling, 33.2. It's being a good boy. Ethereum has come out to play. Let's see where DOT is. DOT's still at 1033, so it's holding up pretty well. If Ethereum keeps doing this and it does cool down, it could be time for the rest of the market to, at least the decent coins, to put in nice gains as well. So be on the lookout for that. And they might even have higher volatility to the upside than Ethereum, if you can believe it. But we'll have to, it all depends on how long Bitcoin holds steady. $3,600 people, that's pretty crazy. Watching the stream. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're going for a $1,200 Ether. We already conquered an $1,100 Ether. We're going for $1,200. The stream's been going on for 3 hours now. The last time I looked at Ethereum on my phone, it was $9.74. Imagine the people that like went to sleep when it was like $900 and they wake up to like an 1150 Ether or 1200 Ether, wherever it ends up being. Maybe it'll go back down to $1,000 by then, and they'll say, "Oh, it went up by $50 or something." But let's see. It's a pretty crazy move. I mean, it just keeps, it's doing the same pattern, right? Up and over, up and over, up and over, up and over. Let's see, what's the time between these moves? So let's go from bottom to bottom, 32 minutes. 33 minutes. or so. 13 minutes. Oh, it's coming down a little. 13 minutes. This is a pretty insane move. I'm sure we'll cool off at some point. We'll see where that point ends up being. Bitcoin is still at 33.1, so it's still doing pretty well. Again, I think the rest of the market is more or less pausing and watching Ethereum. Just like before, the entire market was watching Bitcoin. Now the entire market is watching Ethereum. If Bitcoin holds steady for a couple weeks, you might see altcoins rally. If Bitcoin corrects in the short term or continues the explosive move to the upside, then everything's going to be put on hold, except for Bitcoin, for the most part. Again, there's pet projects that everyone has that'll do okay, but for the most part, the rest of the market will sit still if Bitcoin takes the show back, which it reserves the right to do anytime it wants to. This is slow mode. I know it doesn't feel like slow mode chat. I mean, I think anyone can only type or put a response or a comment every 60 seconds. But when we have 3,700 people viewing, you know, what can we say? Remember to check out the premium list. Link in the description. Sale ends tomorrow morning. Check out the Telegram channel as well. Almost 11,500 Telegram members. All right. By the way, if we do get a significant pullback in the short term, I'll probably end the stream. We've been going over 3 hours, so let's say we come back down. Like if we were to come back down to like 1,087 or something. Like if we come back down, I'll probably end the stream and call it a night. So far, each local top we put in, we don't really come back down to it from the next, 5-minute pullback or so. But now we're getting close to where we were before. All right, is this where we're gonna pull back for a little bit? So we've hit 1168. Maybe we'll get a break and I can go to sleep soon. Bitcoin's still at 33.1, so it's still sitting tight. Okay. $11.40. We're at 0.03. Oh yeah, still at 0.034. So still very much on course, back on course here. So we can remove this. Let's get rid of that. Back on course. It's straight off for a little bit, but sorry, I'm just looking at where we are. 11:33. All right. Are we cooling off now? Is it time? Is it time to call it a night and wake up and see where things are? Someone says we gotta make some merch for Into the Cryptoverse. Nah. Leave the merch for the other channels. Let's just stick to the charts. Yeah, we didn't make it to 3,000 likes, so sleep is for the weak, except I have to get up in the morning with my kids, and they wake up pretty early. Someone says I have merch. He's seen me wear it on some of the videos. That was just a shirt my wife got me for Christmas. Alright, maybe it's time to call it. Maybe this is where we have a little bit of a pullback. Remember, this can last for a while, or it could be over tomorrow. Okay? We just simply don't know. Be responsible. Do what you need to do to make sense for you. And what makes sense for you is different from what might make sense for other people. So, as we've said all along, it's fine. Like, watching these markets is crazy. Things can get out of hand quickly. Okay? So, we'll see where things take us. But, as we've said before, Ethereum, it could be like our thesis again is that it's one market cycle behind Bitcoin in terms of volatility, and with that in mind, the show could just be getting started, and it could play out over a long period of time. It doesn't necessarily need to play out all tonight, even though we would like to see it go up monotonically forever. It just simply isn't going to do that. Yeah, I know we're watching a 1 minute chart. There's a good chance it rallies to 1200 while I'm sleeping, but I have to call it at some point, right? If we drop below 1100, I'm definitely going to end it. I think that's a good spot to end it if we drop below 1100. Bitcoin still at 33K. The dominance 68.5. Dot 1030, ADA 23 cents. Link $15 still. VeChain 25 cents. So mostly it's been an Ethereum show, right? It's mostly been an Ethereum show tonight. We've watched it go up all the way from 1,000 to 1,100. We've now gone up all the way to 1168 at the local top, and we've come back down. If you look at 1 hour charts, I mean, look at this 1 hour chart. It's pretty incredible chart, right? This is 7:30 down here, okay? So over the last, from where we currently are, over the last 42 hours, Ethereum's gone up 52%. At the top, it had gone up 60%. Over the last 42 hours, a 52, almost 53% move, basically. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed the stream. We're at 3 hours and 13 minutes. Look at that move. Oh, did I say VeChain at 25 cents? I meant 2.5 cents. Bitcoin's still at 33.1, Ethereum's at 11.15. Yep. I might end the stream at the top of the hour. We have 4 minutes, maybe. If you guys just found the channel, I would recommend going back and watching some of the videos where we talk about a lot of different, regression analysis, all that sort of stuff. In this stream, we're just kind of, it's more or less just a fun video, but we're not really doing much useful stuff here except watching the price. Go back and watch some of the other videos and kind of see what we talk about on the channel when the price is not so crazy and we're not doing a live stream. All right. We'll call it here. It's back below 1100. I think we'll call it here. I think it was a good night. We made a lot of progress. We've kind of, we've really pushed the limits here all the way up to 1168. When we started the stream, it was around $1,000. We've been going for 3 hours and 15 minutes. So, pretty long period of time. Let's see, Bitcoin's at 33.1, where we're ending the stream. Ethereum's at 1,095. DOT 1020. ADA 22.8 cents. VeChain still at 0.0248. Link 1486. So a bit of a pullback in the entire market now that Ethereum has pulled back a little bit. But again, we're looking at pretty short time frames. The price yesterday was less than $800, and now we're looking at an $1,100 Ethereum. In fact, we're back at $1,100. Why don't we end it here? Remember, we have the Telegram channel, 11,000 people, over 11,000 people in it, so check that out. And also remember, there is the premium list. The sale ends tomorrow morning if you guys want access to the trading view indicators, the risk dashboard, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, everything, right? Everything. Make sure you guys sign up before tomorrow morning if you want to get locked in at the lower rate. So Bitcoin's moving up a little, actually, back to 33.2, 33.3, down from 33.1. Ethereum's at 11.10. 11.11 seems like a pretty good spot to end it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe we'll wake up to a $1,200 Ether. Maybe I'll wake up to $1,000 Ether. Still a pretty crazy time. The markets can be really volatile here. Okay, they can get really volatile here. A lot of money to be made, a lot of money to be lost. Be responsible. Don't bet the family farm. Life-changing money doesn't mean anything if it's in something that corrects by 90% one day. With that said, I still think that Ethereum has a long, good market cycle ahead of it, but there's going to be a lot of volatility along the way to the upside and the downside. Okay, everyone loves the upward volatility. There's also the down volatility. There's nothing wrong with that. If you take profits when it's up a lot, you can reinvest, right? At this time, I still own all my Ethereum. I have not sold any of it. Okay, I still own all of it. For full disclosure, but I'll probably have some stop limits in place in case of a significant pullback by Bitcoin. Hopefully Bitcoin can stay calm for a while and continue to give the rest of the market room to grow. That's what we want to see. If the Bitcoin rally continues, we're essentially kicking the can down the road for everything else in terms of their valuations against Bitcoin. So far, this is a pretty nice sustained move of Ethereum against Bitcoin, right? This is a really nice move, and hopefully it continues. Maybe in future live streams over the next few weeks, if the market continues, we'll be watching Ethereum go up higher. Maybe some nights we'll be focusing on other coins that are moving. Hopefully it's a fun few weeks we have ahead of us. But remember, it can stop at any time. So we'll stop it. We'll stop it at an $1,123 Ethereum, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.